ever wondered about the importance of seeing and hearing from people in leadership positions that are of a similar ethnicity and background, or the importance of networking with and supporting women? Welcome to Woman2Woman today, where we inspire women to reach their goals and we learn something new at the same time. I'm your host, Maseda. Today we'll be speaking with Enna Jimenez, the president of the largest and most influential Latino association in Greater Boston, the Association of Latino Professionals for America. We'll learn about local disparities and barriers facing Latinas in our community. And I am so excited to have Enna with us today. Thank you for joining us, Enna.
Thank you, Jen. I'm very excited to be here with you.
So you have such an amazing background, and I want to be able to touch on all of it, but there are some really important parts that we want our viewers and our listeners to know. And tell us how you got to be a part of ALPHA, which is the Association of Latino Professionals for America.
Absolutely, Jen. So it pretty much started a few years ago. It was like 10 years ago. I started at Wellington Management, and Wellington is a wealth investments company, and they were really invested in their employees, and so they had a really inclusive, diversity and inclusion program. And through that program, I became involved in our Conexiones, which was our Latino ERG. And so as part of that ERG, we were exposed to different partnerships and organizations that were out there. And that's how I became or heard about ALPHA. One of ALPHA's board members worked at Wellington at that point. And so I became more involved in ALPHA as a member, and throughout the years just pretty much, kind of embraced what ALPHA meant. And it really just resonated with me a lot.
Yeah, I have to say that my first experience with ALPHA was such a gift to me. But every time I go back to that network, I am embraced. It is, it's people that want to be around people that look like them, that speak like them, but then it's also that they want to be able to learn and move forward and move their families forward and move their sisters and their brothers forward. And it's such an amazing organization. And being president of this organization, did you, as a child, what was your job that you wanted most in life?
Wow, Jen, that's a very interesting question. I don't ever think I had like that one particular job. Funny enough, when I was in high school trying to figure out where I was going to go to college and what I was going to study, I didn't really know exactly what was that major that I was going to do. And so I applied and got into Simmons College, and I had a choice between Simmons and Northeastern, both amazing organizations or colleges, and ended up at Simmons. And funny enough, one of the first classes I took was a computer science class. And that class just really opened my eyes to the world of computers. And so I ended up graduating from Simmons with a double major in computer science and Spanish. And I'll tell you that the reason why I double majored in Spanish was because, of course, I was so interested in the Spanish courses that by my junior year, one of my teachers said, you only got a couple of classes left to go to declare a major. Just declare a Spanish major.
Yeah, what a great story. So tell me about the power of networking, especially for women and especially for Latina women.
Well, Jen, it's such an important thing, and I find that sometimes women are afraid to network. One of my biggest thing, and honestly why I've probably been as involved as I have in the community, was because I was able to navigate the waters at my work. Sometimes when you work in a department, you tend to stay within your department and within your group. And I am always sharing and instilling in women, you got to step outside of your boundaries. You have to, sort of learn and meet others in your company. A funny story is, when I was at Wellington Management, I was able to really navigate and work with senior leaders throughout the company. And now that I've started my new job at Eastern Bank, it's been an amazing experience, but I'm also doing the same thing. Being able to walk down the hall, being able to see a senior leader and just go up to them and saying, hey, I'm Enna Jimenez. Tell me a little bit about what you do. They're always, excited to share their story and to tell you more about what they do.
Absolutely. People love to talk about themselves, especially when they're really passionate about something. And you hit on something that I think we really need to stress here, that women aren't networking because they're fearful of it, they're embarrassed of it, but we don't have maybe the golf course, and we don't have the bars, and we don't have other unmentionable places that men go to in order to do that networking and in order to make those lasting connections that then become their business partners or their collaborators in some project that they're doing.
Yeah, and I think it's really about stepping out and sort of taking the opportunities that are in front of you in that meeting. Those few minutes, show up early before a meeting, stay late after a meeting, and there's always people lingering. Take a few minutes and say, hey, you had an important point. Can I talk to you a little bit more about that? I think we sometimes miss those opportunities because you're right. We may not always be in the golf course. We may not always be in those right situations, but it's up to us to create those situations. And I've been pretty fortunate enough to have been in places where I have been able to ask those questions and other people see me. And because of that, I have been able to, really expand my network.
Yeah, that's such a key point. Okay, when we come back, we are going to talk a little bit more about the priorities of Alpha and really how the Latina community is making such a huge impact and is growing by leaps and bounds. So stay with us.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Welcome back to Woman2Woman Today. I'm your host, Maseda, and we are here with Enna Jimenez. Enna, tell us a little bit about Alpha and the top priorities that are happening within the Boston chapter, but then Alpha is across the country, right?
Absolutely. Alpha is national. We have over 44 chapters worldwide, and it's such an exciting thing. At Boston, we have over 20 corporate partners, additional 16 student chapters. In terms of the things that we're looking to accomplish in 2017, Jen, we have such a jam-packed agenda. I am super pumped. We're going to be focusing on 3 different areas: high school students, our college students, and professionals. One of the things that I'm really excited about is to be hosting our first ever high school conference, combined with a college student summit that we're going to be doing in the fall. Again, one of the things we want to do is really strengthen and make sure that Latino students know sort of the path to the future.
Yes.
What is it like to go to college and what are the different things that they can accomplish? And so we kind of want to bridge the gap there a little bit more and make sure that they're much more mentors that they're able to see.
Right.
In terms of our college students, again, our corporate partners tell us all the time, we have lots of internships and we love to fill those up with Latinos. So we want to kind of bridge the gap there and make sure that our Latino students are aware of the different opportunities. We have an amazing conference, a Latino student conference being held at Salem State University on March 25th. So we're very excited about that. And there's going to be career fairs and things and a lot of different events that we're going to be doing for our college students. Finally, you know, in terms of our professionals, because of course that's our largest part of our members, we're going to have amazing programming, content-driven programming that's really going to help develop Latino leaders, both personally and professionally. We have an amazing event coming up in March. We're bringing Dr. Antonia Novello. She was the 14th Surgeon General appointed back in the 90s, and she's going to be in Boston for a whole week full of event. We're partnering up with Salem State University and Simmons College to be able to cater and sort of, you know, sponsoring these events. In addition to that, we have an amazing lineup for our Women of Alpha Latina Summit, which will be held May 10th at MIT, and we're super excited to have MIT being a sponsor for us this year, along with amazing, you know, programs for our health and healthcare members, both our investment teams. We're branching out technology firms. We're going to be hosting our first ever hackathon. So we're very excited about that.
There are so many exciting things happening.
So much going on. I'm telling you, the list goes on.
I'm so happy for you, and it's because of your leadership and also the leadership of past presidents that have been so many women that have taken on the helm of Alpha and just grown it and focused on women and made sure that women leaders are well-resourced, well-trained, and well-connected.
Absolutely, Jen. I have an exciting board, and you know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, and we wouldn't be able to put together everything we're doing. You know, folks like Natalia Hilton and Caro Ruiz, and my immediate, you know, the immediate past president, Jessica Feliciano, who did an amazing job over the last year and a half, and you know, and the countless number of folks that came before us, and you know, we have a you know, pretty big shoes to fill, and I'm super excited and just looking forward to what the next couple of years are going to be like.
Yeah, well, you know what? They made the right choice with you for following such a great president, and now you're taking on the helm and just expanding it even more. So I'm so proud to know you.
Thank you, Jen.
So stay with us, because we are going to be talking about those barriers that Latinas face and women in general, and how we can each hold each other hold each other's hands, and really lift each other and make sure that we are reaching back for people and pushing women forward so that they can be successful in their own way. So stay with us.
When I first got into the foster care system, I felt afraid. First of all, afraid because I didn't know what was my next step in life. And after a while, having to be there for 2 years, I got into the process of adoption, and I was also afraid of that, thought I was going to age out of the system. I was afraid that I would be rejected by others. I was afraid that my foster mom wouldn't like me, or I'll just be placed home to home. I kept wondering if I was going to get adopted or not.
I decided to adopt an older youth because, unfortunately, at 27, I was diagnosed with uterine cancer and had a full hysterectomy. And so I knew that I was going to always adopt. I always knew that I wanted to adopt. I've been a middle school teacher for 20 years, so I'm used to dealing with, 11, 12, 13, and 14-year-olds. And at, 41 years old, I decided that, I wasn't ready to have a baby. So I was more than willing to take on an older child. So a big part of me realized that I wanted to make a difference in an older kid's life, and I had the opportunity to do that.
The first time my mom and I met was at a restaurant. We had conversations over a meal and ice cream, and it was with my social worker.
I'm not going to say that it wasn't awkward. I'm not going to say that it wasn't difficult. I'm not going to tell you and lie and say that my stomach wasn't, turning upside down. It wasn't doing the somersaults.
So, at first, for her and I to get to know each other, it was kind of awkward because here's two strangers.
I was petrified.
So what questions do I ask her?
You know, we're sitting there over ice cream.
We found out that we had similar interests and hobbies. We both love to travel, and she ended up taking me on our first trip was to Las Vegas.
Unfortunately, we wish we could do that all the time, but I'm not a Rockefeller, so. Two big things, the reason I was matched with Ashley, is I'm very much into volunteering and service. And Ashley had a great love for volunteerism already. And then on top of that, you know, we like to cook together, although now she's, you know, in college, so she's got to cook on her own. Although Ashley's a way better cook than I am. So we go out to eat a lot, because if I cook, I might burn it. But we like to do the girly things that, you know, go get mani-pedis. We like to go to the movies.
I was pretty happy that someone actually wanted to adopt me. I was excited. I'll finally have a forever home.
She has a place to come back at Christmas. When she decides to get married or gets engaged, she's got somebody to go with her to the bridal shop and help pick out a wedding dress. Or when she gets pregnant, not for at least 10 plus years, that she's got somebody there. She's got a mom to be there with her in the delivery room, or to be there to throw her a baby shower, to be there for her along all the big milestones in life. We all know that we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. And that's just not because I'm an adoptive parent. That's just parenting in general. There is no parent that is perfect.
Honestly, I think my mom's the most perfect parent ever. I love her dearly. She's done so much for me from the start, and she will until the end. I know that for a fact. She's extraordinary. She's just awesome. I don't want to cry.
She has a joy. She has brought blessing to me. I think of myself as being more resilient, more patient at times, more understanding, being willing to accept things and let certain things go. She has made me laugh more, smile more. We've cried together. We've fought together. I mean, you know.
I'm no longer doubting myself a lot. I don't have a low self-esteem, and that's all thanks to my mom. She's really helped me a lot.
She's made me a better person. That's what I would say about Ashley.
Welcome back to Woman2Woman today. We're here with Enna Jimenez. So Enna, tell us about some of the barriers that Latinas within the community have to face and how they are overcoming those barriers.
Well, you know, Jen, there's, as always, you know, in any, and even in any culture, there's always many barriers. But certainly, you know, just figuring out how to get ahead, figuring out how to be the ones that are able to sit at the table, sort of even just finding that opportunity to get that special assignment. Usually those are things that Latinas are always facing, and so what can Alpha do to help Latinas break through those barriers? And so what we'll try to do is really create programming that teaches them about empowerment, that teaches them about leadership, that sort of breaks it down and tells them what is personal branding. How should I, you know, position myself out there so that my manager knows the things that I'm doing, and how do other people know the things that I'm doing and the value that I bring in? And so,
do you think that there is a difference between, or just within that Latina culture? You know, I have a Colombian mother, so I feel as though the weight of that culture was almost a barrier that I put on myself. Right. You know, that Latinas, yes, we are strong and we are passionate, and we get things done, but we are secondary to the male Latin, and he is the one that needs to lead, and we need to be almost subservient to that. So are you also having to shift that that self-perception that Latinas have within the organization?
I think that, nowadays Latinas, know that there's so much more to our roles that, they're automatically saying, no, that's no longer our role. This is where we now belong. We belong in the boardroom. We belong making those decisions. We can be presidents. And I think that what we're finding nowadays, especially for myself, is we're thinking of the people that are coming up behind us. I think of my 17-year-old daughter who, is amazing and does great in school. But what can I teach her? How is she going to, fulfill her dreams? And who are the Latina women and men that are out there that is going to pave the way so that they can have a bigger and brighter future? So I think today, Latinas, and given just the state of the economy in the world, Latinas are saying, no, we are at the table, and
Right.
we're no longer taking a back seat to anyone.
Look at you. Are you tearing up? Because I'm tearing up from that.
Jen, I get really passionate about this.
You
It
should.
truly is what I
can tell.
represent, and it's just one of those things that I'm really, really proud of what I've done and what I've accomplished. And I couldn't have done that if it wasn't for everyone around me pulling me up and opening those doors, and really paving the way. And so for me, this role and where I'm headed to, and the fact that I am here is because of other women who have opened the doors for me. And my goal in life is to open the doors for many other Latino men and women, and to bring them up the ladder and to show them what we can do and accomplish. So
That's beautiful.
it's so important to me. And I take on this role as president, so important. And it's just really tied to my values.
Well, we can tell your passion, and we can tell that you are dedicated to this. And that's really what Woman2Woman today is all about. It's about highlighting amazing women, and in your own right, you are that. But it's also about women that are reaching back and reaching sideways in order to help others to move forward. So we are so grateful that you came and shared your time with us today, and your story
you,
and your
Jen.
journey. We're proud to know you, and we're so proud that you're the new president of Alpha. And if you want more information about Alpha, please go to their website at alpfa.org. So thank you to Enna Jimenez for being with us today, and to share her important work at Alpha, the networking, helping other Latinas in the greater Boston community. We're so grateful. So please remember to follow, like, and subscribe to Woman2Woman today on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube so you don't miss the show. Thanks to the entire team at Access Framingham, especially Shavarsh Morrissey and Francesca Cerruti Harris. Thanks also to Jess Friswell, our assistant producer. I'm Jen Maseda, your host of Woman2Woman today. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you next time, where we hope to inspire you.